All right, what's up? What's up? Good morning. Welcome back. Welcome back to another live session. Hope you guys are doing good, feeling well. As you're tuning in, be sure to check out the disclaimer. Remember that day trading is risky. All right, let's jump into the watch list here. I know the day trade dash thing makes my hat go transparent for whatever reason, but I guess we'll be fine. So there's a couple of them. Let me bring down my volume real quick. 28 is about right. I didn't look at the scanners yet, so this actually will be my first time here. So there's NBY, which is up 100%, 70 million shares of volume. There's DEVS. How is AZTR looking? Looking okay. Up 60%, 50 plus million shares of volume. And then there's PTNM. Continuation, INHD, AZTR. Let me check INHD here. There could be something, although sometimes, yeah, there could be something there. Although it doesn't look super obvious right now. So I have an extended list. We got Big Steve. I didn't call. I forgot yesterday, but I remembered, and then I remembered while I was making breakfast. That's what happened. And the pastor forgot. I was in the depths. My memory was shot. We got H1 Media in the building. You know, H1 Media, man. People like that, you know, you got to appreciate, man. Always showing up here with a positive attitude, positive mindset. We like it. We got Brad, longtime viewer, in the building as well. Hope you guys are feeling good today. So there's the watch list. Oh, Big Steve, man, it's hilarious. Big Steve's a great guy, man. We got to meet up again. Have some more sushi. Okay, let me dial in here on NBY. On NBY. So we got pre-market highs clocking in at 187. Lows, we've been in quite the uptrend here, but we've pulled back. We've had lows around 167 earlier. And that is slightly above the VWAP. So far, it's holding up. It's doing all right. The daily chart here. Let me see quickly. You know, I've started red the last 2 days, like slight red, and then got to green. So today I'm gonna try to, you know, take it a little slower into the open, and try to get some green to start and build off of that. Yeah, NBY daily chart looks decent. We're above the 200 EMA, which is around 130s. Going back all the way to August and July of last year, where we had that gap down from $2. You know, right now we're pushing up 182. I'd say the next obvious level will be 2, and then, you know, maybe we can take it in 25-cent increments. 225, 250, kind of see how it goes, how the candlesticks are shaping up the pattern. And that might be the best indicator as to how far this one can go, as we're not seeing any major levels per se. on the daily chart. Nothing with super high volume that's really standing out in our current vicinity. So NBY looks decent. AZTR coming down. I'll actually start with a daily chart here, work my way backwards. We had a high point on the 22nd of 140. We're currently at 128 here for AZTR. We've also had a after hour high or a pre-market high at 173. Although I don't really map out pre-market levels as much. So 140, can we get above that level? Pre-market highs today. We got 152. So over 152, potential room to 170, and then the next obvious level, 239, and then from there, 266. That would be nice to see here today. 266, maybe $3. I'd say the last 2 days have been fairly good. So, you know, what will we see today? Will we see more momentum? I think so. In which case, you know, we got to be locked in early. We got to get into a rhythm early, and then look forward to capitalizing. Yesterday we did get up to 1K on I'm forgetting the ticker symbol already, but we got up to 1K, and we gave back at the end, watching the 1 minute pullback and then the 5 minute pullback, which both titanic. I was thinking, you know, a bit of an adjustment could be slightly smaller size, especially after a bigger drop off, despite it still looking strong. I think slightly smaller size there to protect ourselves a little bit more. We did do a good job on the 1 minute pullback, scaling out early because it was taking so long to bounce, where we should have already been seeing a red to green. Okay, so AZTR looks decent. DEVS coming down. So yeah, that's pretty much the game plan, right? Today's plan, it's been a long time since I said this. Today's plan is yesterday's plan. Just got to be careful on those 5 minute pullbacks after a bigger drop off. You know, what I go off of is the candlesticks, right? Like if the stock is selling off, and this is relatively speaking because it's so high up, right? We're usually trading stocks that are very high up. What makes me buy those lows is the higher time frame still looking so aggressive, right? And then if that ends up looking terrible, then you know it's at that point it's a losing trade, because now the pattern is being broken even on the 5 minute, 10 minute chart, etc. So that's what encourages me to still keep trading a stock, even if it's like a sharper pullback to begin with, on the 10-second chart or the 1 minute chart, right? But you still want to be careful nevertheless. So that's the plan. DEVS here. 2 minute warning. We got 10, 11, and then 1060 as levels on this one. Is this the right stock? Yeah. Those levels are far away though. We got 666 pre-market highs. If we get up to 10 on this one, that could be really good. Would be lovely. Sensational. Magnificent. 1350. Okay. So I think NBY into the open, and then I'll go from there. If you're tuning in on YouTube, be sure to hit that thumbs up. We've had a good look at the gap scan here, so now I'll switch over to the 10-second chart on NBY. This one definitely seems a little thick right now, but you know, we'll see. Again, I'm aiming for stocks that can give a big breakout in short time frames in an uptrend, especially in an uptrend. DEVS, and then NBY on this side. Slow and steady, looking to be disciplined, looking to trade the best setups. Another beautiful day. Get rid of this nonsense. Something about the new school year there. Okay. Again, this one looks a little thick, but it's so far moving up. I really want to take it slow the first minute or two here. Into minute 3 is where I really want to start looking for trades. DEVS highs there of 66. VWAP is right at 66 as well for DEVS. Taking a starter there, 50. DEVS tight up. Oh my god, man. That's disappointing. We had the ask go to 58, but the bid's 46. I'm gonna stop out. It seems like it might be a little spready. Does it mean business though? This one definitely, I think, might have a bit of a spread to the downside. So there's going to be a little bit more risk. That's the EVS. I'm going to do a rotation here. Let's see how everything else is looking. INHD. NUKK. Man, NUKK yesterday, man. Like, just, I got a little frustrated. I lost $50 on that stock, but like the dip and rips, I tell you. There was like 2 entries, but you had to be so aggressive to take those trades. Like, we open up $1 share higher, the stock drops down 10 cents and then rips. Like what madness is this? INHD halting up. That's a quick move there. So it looks like it's going to be the continuation stock to give the move. Taking a small starter on DEVS. Will it go? Only 200 shares or so here. And this one is a wild one for sure. I don't love it, man. We can't be at 380 and then 369 on the bids, you know. I think I'll hold off on that one for now. So on the sidelines and waiting for INHD resumption. I'm gonna go to the disclaimer screen here for a sec. Guys, remember if you're tuning in, remember that day trading is risky, okay? Do not use money that you cannot afford to lose. And be very careful. Utilize small size, utilize simulators. And be careful of fake Relentless trading accounts. Other than that, be careful of fake ads as well. People are also stealing the Team House content and the Relentless trading content and trying to run advertisements with them. So if you spot a fake ad, help us out in reporting it. It's a crazy world we live in, and there are desperate people. Now let me check this resumption before I miss it. INHD. DEVS, I see it. I'm gonna stick to like 200 shares here for now, though. Like until it maybe opens up a little bit more. I just don't love how we're dropping down 5-10 cents on the bids. We got a minute 50 seconds to resumption. This one I think is really for the clean pullback entry and just, you know, got to give it that couple of minutes because it's just way too choppy. The quick scalps I don't think will work too well on DEVS. We'll see. That could change, right? If it like breaks out some more and, you know. There's 410. There's 415. Watching to see how well it holds up here. Taking the $4 dip. Tight stop. Resumption time. 47 seconds. See, I'm in there for a good 10, 15, 20 seconds. There's, you know, we're kind of still here, so I'll cut that trade flat. We're supposed to be pretty immediate there for that bounce. We did get 7, but you know, it's so spready and back down that like it's like not even really worth getting out there. And there's some sellers coming in. 17 seconds to INHD here. INHD coming up. Here we go, INHD. Yeah, I definitely chased it there a little. Tight stop. Trying it again. Can we get back over 5? There's a big bid there. 95, 98. There's back over 5. 96, though I don't like that. Can we continue to hold? Right back down after a new high. Not ideal. We got to 515 or so and almost immediately is right back down. I'm gonna try it. Oh, well, okay. No, I'm not gonna try it. I'm gonna take a loss. What I'm gonna do there. In at 80, out at like 75. Interesting. No, didn't mean to do that. Oh, I got filled 72. Brutal. So DEVS. Is it moving better or is it still the same? It's looking still a little choppy. We could be seeing the 5-minute setup here for INHD. I think it's possible. Although I stopped out at the bottom. I'll pay attention to it here though, in case we see the red to green actually hold up. High or low? I'm watching it high or low. Let me double check the 5-minute chart here. Can we see back over 5? It has potential, right? It has potential. So we are going to see the 5-minute setup work out despite having more red volume on this 5-minute candlestick. The 1-minute candle to make the new high is going to hold. Will it continue to hold? Is the question. We might have some hidden sell. Okay, there we go. I'm about to say we might have some hidden sells. Can we see 520? We should. Like, we might have some hidden sellers because why is it not going there, right? We had a high of 25. Oh, it's still, it seems like it might be holding high. It's hard to say though, right? I'm watching for the $5 hold here. Waiting. Our 5-minute candle closes as doji with a bottoming wick. I'd say it's bullish despite having the high volume. That's a high ad, but okay. Watching for 25 and 30. There it is. Damn, that fluctuation. It might keep going, it's possible. We got 34. I gotta size up here now and try to get a little bit more out of the move. So far, the stock is uptrending and it's giving decent moves in a short time frame. $55. 55 high. Damn it. Didn't get what I wanted. I don't watch. It might go. It might go. Will it? Damn. Not quite all the way. The key for this stock right now is to not give a massive red candle randomly. You notice it hasn't really given one since like 940. If a big red candle comes is where, it could be trouble. But so far it's like holding up its levels and it's going up slowly with an uptrend. Not the biggest breakouts we've ever seen, but fair. Fair enough. Seems like we might have gotten a higher low right there. I'm gonna wait. Could be seeing a bigger pullback. We just have to hope this isn't backside already. I doubt it. It's so early that it shouldn't be, but yeah, I should have threw out that trade there. I think it might have held. I think it's good. I should have thrown out that trade though, just to see. I don't have any size here. It's a decent trade though. Oh, it's gonna keep going too. Nice. See, it's like I could add there, but it's like we're still so much off the lows that for me adding it, it's just tough to do. In that, despite determining that that was probably the bottom, I got filled high there. 60. If there's no retest here, it's probably gonna sell off. Can we retest? Oh. It's like a false breakout there, and we're back down. Got some terrible fills just now. Wow. Not good. Taking 94. Can we see back over 5? Small size. Oh my god. Nope. Oh, so much for that dip. Okay, moving on. This looks like it might be toasted. The haircut, man. Damn the haircut all the time. The haircut at the end. Because of where the lows were on that dip, I just couldn't take size because we're like so high off the lows. It's like it probably would have still been a 2-to-1, but Wasn't willing to risk full 10 cents to capture 45. My entry was 32. My stop would have been at like 20. Is it back up again? What type of madness is this? Well, it is not cooked after all. See, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. This throws me off a little bit here. Small size, 100 shares. Now, if it's good though, it needs to not drop back down to $5 again. Boy, they don't play with those freaking bills, man. Jeez. I'm seeing myself get filled 5 cents higher, 4 cents higher. NAMI. Is it worth it? We've been taking losses on INHD. NAMI over 2 could be interesting, but it seems to be getting stuffed. That's so annoying. Nothing like being up 5 cents unrealized and then the stock is down for 3 cents. for a 3-cent loss. I thought I was getting ready there, but it might need another minute maybe. Ah, man. Now I'm getting chopped. Chop, chop, chopped. Yeah, I sold at the bottom of that. Unreal. And that slippage is insane, man. I sold break even. I get filled at the bottom of that spike. And now I missed the rip. Not good at all. Not good. We've been seeing stocks break out to 85, 90 in this area recently. And I am getting chopped city here. Alright, 500 to flat. Pretty fair. Pretty fair because, I don't know, since this big drop here, I couldn't get anything going. Small size, but in depth by 1,000 cuts. That by 1,000 cuts. We're getting a higher low so far. It needs to hold. If not, it is trouble. Can we hold up our previous support? If it's good, we could see 75, 85 again. Will we see 75, 85 again? There's 70. Volume a little slower. Waiting. $73. Will we see 75, 80? Will we see 85? This is where stock needs to break through new highs right here. New highs. 85. Can we see the new highs? 90. Good, good. Now $6. I might take it aggressively here. Can we see 6? I'm getting chopped out freaking trades, man. Ah, you son of a gun. Why you chop me out? Why? Those entries like that are usually just good money. And that bid did not do anything. Mother lover. Can't connect on this thing properly here. Despite some right reads. It's good that we made a new high though. Terrible entries, man. Our fills are cooking us, making our entries obsolete here. Give me that entry all day long. Now can we see 510, 610, 620? Watching for 610, 620 here. 610, 620. KB, are the bulls still alive? Do I hear 605 and 610 whispering into my ears off this sweet, sweet dip? No, 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 you son of a gun. Bro, come on, man. 5-minute candlestick turning red like that. Well, I can't connect, and now I'm red on the stock. Oh, man, that is tough. And is it back up? 72? 72 is a little low. So the chop continues here after 954 for me. And I thought we were going to see 610. That's... May have to take the 3 to 4 cents too. Instead of trying to get that bigger move. We've took so many losses trying to get 10, 15 cents. Maybe just got to take the 3 cents. Although in a lot of areas, though, you know, it's giving those signals to give a good move. Yep. What is yesterday's high? 624. Or highs from a few days ago. And, it came like 10 cents, 16 cents. Taking the dip, 32. Can we at least get a bounce this time? Last time I took 94, it stopped me out, then bounced. 45. Do I hear 50? 55. Bounce for the pastor. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Boats, boats, boats. 45. 48. There's 50 at least. AKAN. AKAN. So the quick dip is going to work this time compared to last time at least. And what's crazy is that last time it actually bounced up into a massive green candle here. But I stopped out at the bottom. Well, it was like a break-even trade, really. I think I bought 95. It came back down to 91 or something like that. I stopped out for a couple cents loss, and then massive move back up. Couple cents here, 10 cents. Usually if we're going to drop this much, we're going to get something. Even if it's 10, 15 cents. So now, I'll sit on the sidelines and see if it does curl back up or if there's something else. So just waiting patiently. Yeah, but since 54 was basically chopping around for me, there were some nice moves though. Just kind of lost the rhythm. The push, we caught the sweet trade from 60 to $6 or 85, from 60 to 85. And then granted we were scaling out, but still we got back in 590 for the breakout through 6. We're in 94, 93. We stop out at 90 or 89, and then it rips to 610. Trades like that, I had 2,500 shares there. It's like, that's a sweet, sweet $400 gone to the wind. Gone to the wind. So the 5-minute setup seems to be holding up for now, which is good news. Which is great news. Definitely not out of the woods, but so far it's trying. Not out of the woods. Another trade to take my 5 cents. Keep doing it. Damn. New lows? Yeah, new lows. Being that I got to 29 so quickly, I kind of gave it a chance. Like 9 cents on realize. Oh, a small size though, but still. We end up taking 1 cent loss. When we get back to that level so quickly, you know, I kind of want to see what it does, but that's the risk. Let's see if there's anything else moving here. Not seeing any call outs in the chat room. WAI. Cheaper stock. Okay, let's see what it's all about. The penny to save the day. Penny stock time. Yeah, I was late to that. I was super duper late to that. I almost forget what type of size I gotta use here too. It looks good that it held up though. That was good. The volume is pretty steamy, but no breakout. It might try again. Is this it? That was not a great trade. We got 28.6 right there. I looked away from the level 2. I saw a little green. I just punched it. Just not the wisest thing to do there. Time. Not the wisest thing to do. Don't forget, if you're watching on YouTube, to hit that thumbs up. Bills are not good in some areas. 27.5, 27.4. And they're sellers. It seems like there's volume for no reason here almost. Like it's a lot of noise. So I gotta wait. Be more of a sniper here. Be more of a sniper. more of a sniper. Or even that, bro? Come on. It's still dropping. I'll change the 10-second here in a sec. Now an ascent. No bueno. Made nothing there, man. Freaking fills. This platform definitely reminds me of the crazy, terrible fills, that's for sure. Is there? I don't think there's anything else. At least not right now. So it's time to wait. Time to wait. NAMI is curling up, but it was terrible. Will it be good this time? Probably not. We need a fresh stock to hit the scans. Something new and fresh. This daily chart is cooked. I've had so many splits, it seems like. Just splits after splits. But all the splits is showing a high of 30,000. That's STSS. So far, red day recap down 250. Green 500 to red 250. Not great. That other stock, the opportunity to be up, something was there. But the chop, if you got caught anywhere, you know, you kind of got cooked. The chop. YHGJ. YHGJ. STSS resumption is also coming up. This one definitely has lighter volume so far. STSS resumption in 30 seconds. STSS. I'll keep an eye with really small size here. 1427. Here we go. Taking 1410. I got filled at 30 though. And my stop is going to be below 14 here. Can we see 1470 again? Only a 30-cent trade, nothing crazy. With 50 shares. Taking 75. Can we see over 15? Tight stop. Getting back in at 50. What's it going to be? 40 stop here. Wide stop though. Fly for me. Fly. Good. Fly. There's a massive... I'm going to go short. No shares. Is it going to break through that seller? I doubt it. It might take some time, so we might pull back first. So watching the dip. There's someone trying to sell like 30,000 shares at like 1530. Well, that seller's real, all right. 15, 20, 30,000. Is that 1.5? 1.5 million. No. My math might be wrong. Wait. Let me not call random numbers here. Start sounding crazy. Let's pay attention to the level 2, like we should be doing. Let me pull up the screen, by the way. There it is. And of course, 40 comes. Watching for the bounce. Did I not get filled lower at all on that dip? Son of a gun. Alright, I'm going to reduce the risk a little bit. I was aiming to get an ad down there. Tight stop. Just got to be careful of it teleporting down and missing your stop. That's the key, right? So back up to 15 and right up to the seller. Now can we break through that seller? Yep. There it is. There it is. Boom. Fuck, bro. I can't with these fills. I'm gonna go crazy. It's so volatile. The time we try to get in, it's up 30 cents from where you're trying to buy. All right, I'll take the $100 here and size down 50 shares. 1607, the new high. So we sold half because we didn't get the lower fill, missed out on some about 60, 70 cents of profits there on that position. The little things like that. STSS. Can't forget to adjust your share size if you're trading a penny stock before. The last thing you need to do is take 10,000 shares by accident. If you have the buying power, it will fill. Could end up being a very great day if the setup you're looking at works, or it could end up being your worst day. That type of catastrophic mistake. It's halting up 1685. 1685, halting up. Looks like it'll get locked in too. I was waiting for a dip back below 1550, but we held up fairly high. Didn't take. What was that low we had? Like 64 or so. Candlestick showing 55 though. Well, the good news is that so far we're keeping it tight. This is quite the move. What was this? Earnings on this stock? MDB? This is quite the move here. 213 to 286. Very impressive. Looks like a large cap though. SPY, how are we doing? I can't believe I sold my SPY position at like 585 or something like that. And the interest rates didn't even start to drop yet, right? Being impatient. So we're probably going to see like 700 into next year, assuming that there's no like random catalyst to flush us down again. Once the rates start to go down, we're going to see, stocks go higher. The SPY is going to go higher. And the rising tide will lift all ships except the ones with terrible financials and or no future potential. Because future potential is also pretty big in this market. Companies like Uber and others, where they're for a long time weren't making any money, are valued at certain prices just because of what they could do and what they could become. So it doesn't always make sense, but we're looking for STSS to make some sense, literally. Resumption, 2 minutes, 23 seconds. And checking out the daily chart here, we got to do our due diligence. Let's just double check. Actually, we'll do it on Day Trade Dash. Day Trade Dash. You guys can always check out the link for Day Trade Dash here in the description. You can also check out the link to the chat room if you want to know how your favorite traders are doing. Guys like Tim, Marcelo, and others who are still trading live and are very active in the chat room every day. Some people, they say, hey, how is Save doing? They just call him the Asian guy, right? They say, how's Crispy? All these guys are all in the chat room. Every now and again, they'll give an update on what's going on. Some of them are more active. You can always check out some of the other members as well. Lucas, also someone who also had a YouTube channel and will post from time to time. Shout out to Lucas, man. Lucas is another great trader in the chat room. Daily chart on Day Trade Dash is cooked. So we'll use E-Trade. We had a pre-market high from a few days ago, which was at 1793. That was on the 25th. STSS coming up. Again, I got a really small size. Just taking it slow. $16.85. 15 seconds. No fear, no hesitation. Here we go. I'm taking it early. And it'll only give me 40 cents or less. I don't know where I got filled. Nah, I think that's early. And I got filled high. Why did I not buy, man? Son of a gun. I hesitated down there below 1650, which was a nice dip. See, like that, I have no excuse right there, man. Gotta pull the trigger. Sometimes you can get caught up with the risk. Thinking about if we're going to drop more, trying to get the perfect entry. But that can just lead you to miss the trade, right? Gotta take it and just put the stop in a reasonable area there, which was pretty good. So we got up to 18. 1870 is the halt up. That dip there way too quick. That dip would have been gambling if I were to try to get that. And there's a spread of like 50 cents. It's just getting, might be untradeable here if it doesn't tighten up in the spreads. Tight stop at 60 here. Can we hold? The pullback. Taking the small loss. So it might be rejecting that pre-market high. It's possible. Today, definitely the weakest day of the week here so far. Nothing compared to yesterday, the day before. Even NUKK came along with a nice move. On a stock like this, for me personally, I just don't know if the risk is worth the reward, you know? I'd rather be more aggressive on something cheaper with tighter spreads. SKBL. Soaring up. Soaring. See, and this went from 67 to freaking 80, and I'm only now pulling it up. That's not good. Jeez Louise. Look at how many pullbacks it gave here. Man. It could definitely move quick, which would make sense for this move, of course. Highs are at 83. Looks like a bit of a double bottom there. I'm gonna be patient here. I don't need to rush this. Just gonna watch. Okay, there's a oh bro, it's not tradable. Holy shit. Dang, that's a massive bid. I would have got filled 82 though. Will it go? Will it go? There, a stock should we should never have to call a physical person broker to place a trade. What is this? 1985? Oh man. And I know people are saying it's untradeable, but I'm not looking at the comments. Guardian does have some high fees for these sub $1. It could be done, but I mean, you can't have losing trades, really, right? The margin there with those crazy fees are very slim on the sub $1. ECN fees start going insane. Well, I'm wasting my time watching it. I mean, just look at something else. Is anything else moving up that looks good? I mean, we can watch it for education's sake, right? Play some hypothetical trades. Or you can always trade it in the sim if you really want to trade it. Get the practice. Let me see how the chat room is doing. Let me see how the live stream is doing. Also, I didn't check. So I haven't watched the Ross recap in like years, right? Are they still doing the 100K a day in the pre-market right now? H1, man, mission failed. After 2 green days, we're red $100 today. 140 to be exact. We're green 500 to start and like just death by 1,000 cuts. Pre-market might be a little slow. That's why. I mean, right now, pre-market might. I haven't been trading pre-market the last like 3 weeks, or is it a month already? Maybe 3.5 weeks. But once the steam is back, I want to go back immediately, like that next day. What I need to do is to tune into the recaps to see if it's hot or not, right? Because the moment it's hot again, I mean, we'll see in the chat room. More than likely, people will be saying like, "Man, this guy's already up 100K." That the day that I see that, the next day I'm trading pre-market every day again. And then we can see some sweet, because whilst you got to be very careful for stocks that pop up early and just like right back. I mean, you'll see like a $3 share move up, and then like a $3 share move, $4 share move back down. You cannot afford to get caught in those. But the ones that hold up and give a consecutive, green candles, a good uptrend, hold up the first couple of pullbacks. There's something there, man. There's something there. I think my biggest trade was like 20 something hundred. There's opportunity for sure. STSS, a bit flat line sideways. Bro. I mean, I'd say Ross is no fool, right? Like I'm pretty sure he's very aware of like the slander that he'll get for having like an audience. I mean, I don't know. We'd have to sit him down in like a lie detector test. That'll be the only way to like put these claims to rest once and for all, you know? Now, for me, I have an audience too. If I was making 10K plus a day, would the people accuse me of the same thing? I don't know. These are tough questions because, we're only making assumptions. If I started making 30K a day tomorrow, right, would people say, the audience is part of the reason why? Honest conversation, right? So I, I I think personally, if this guy is to trade, let's say he trades, let's say he's traveling and trading, right? And he doesn't live stream because he's at the airport. It's like this guy is gonna be up the same money. Like that. That's my opinion, but I could be wrong, right? I mean, but I think it's just the skills, man. Like you just have to be at a level where you know what you're doing. You're confident in putting out the size. That's the biggest thing that I've learned is that like earlier and having $50 days, and then to have days where you can be up like 5-10,000 or more. Like so much of it is still the same exact entries, but the size is the main thing that really dictates the P&L at the end of it. It's like your biggest red day that you've ever had. Just imagine you're using 10x the size on that same day. And then vice versa, your biggest green day you've ever had, you 10x the size, assuming that liquidity could keep up with the size, then, it's exponential, right? It's not going to be a perfect 2, 3, 4x because it's exponential. So if, you have the stomach, I mean, that's the thing, do we have the stomach, I think is a big question, right? Like, can you see yourself going in 80K size, 100K size? I mean, some people are on these penny stocks are taking million shares plus. in the same, like back in October of last year, the same stocks that I'm going in with 90K size, people are taking million shares, 300K shares, buying so many times. I've watched Save trade myself. I mean, it's, it's something else to see somebody just buying, 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 and then like for me, I hear the chime once, twice, that's it, max. And then this guy, the chime, he's already hit the buy button. The chime is just still chiming, ding, ring, ding, ring, like 2 minutes later, almost it feels like. And it's a mindset because okay, he's in the trade. I look over at his P&L. His P&L is like up and down 2K, and the stock is barely moving up or down. And then when it goes, then he's like, having a big move. But are we willing to take that type of risk, right? For those people who are, maybe averaging $100 a day, $300 a day, it's almost like you're risking your whole month in one single trade at that level. It's like, so it's a mindset that you kind of have to achieve to feel comfortable and confident to push that level of risk, you know? Because these guys will, of course, have bigger red days at times. And there are some traders who, like maybe you have 12 green days, 12 red days in the month. Your 12 green days, you're green 300. Your 12 red days, you're green $80, right? But when you 10x the size and everything, it's like you're dealing with these swings, I had one of our students tell me something similar, like on one of his bigger months, I think he made like 150K or something. And he's like, man, like the stress of it all, like he just rather trade like smoothly and just have smaller green days add up rather than like a monster day and then like a monster lot starting the day down 10K and then going up 20K, 30K. It's a little stressful, right? It's a little stressful. We got some monster traders in our chat room though, for sure. As STSS is a halting down, false halt down. We might not be making 1 million plus a day, but our small gains can add up for sure. But there are some traders out there. We've met a couple of people, people who've made well over 50 million, people who've made close to 100 million. We've met traders in all sides of the spectrum. We've been into rooms where we were like the majority of long traders and everybody else is going short, and we're looking in there and having conversations, learning a little bit. But there's a lot of short sellers too. Like a lot of people are short sellers. Of course, I like to see them feel the pain of a stock squeezing, but they always have the last laugh because these stocks will come back down. It's just a matter, even if they get stopped out and they're respecting their stops, they can always get back in again, And the stock will come back down. Like we haven't had any stock that went and just stayed up. So for all of us, if once we respect our stops, we can live to fight another day or take another setup. HKD, probably the most notorious one, from like $5 up to 2,500. A short seller's nightmare if you were to keep adding and not, you'd have gotten margin called without a chance. Some of these stocks could be, I mean, how many people really rolled the whole thing all the way up to 2,500, right? What are the odds that you catch this thing from $5 to 2,500? It's just so unlikely. Now, there might have been like a few people in the whole trading world that might have been able to do this, but as in like a few, maybe 2, 3 people. And sometimes it does involve luck. Maybe you took a small position and you left out, you happened to not trade the next day so that you didn't sell the position early, like $200-300. And then maybe those are the type of things sometimes it'll take to really get this type of move, the entire thing. The key though is for time travel not to exist, because if time travel ever exists, then if time travel ever exists, then people will really want to start copy trading people, right? It's like, yo, this guy is never wrong. Every call out he takes, right? Every call out he takes is going. Why wouldn't you size up big if you have a valid edge? I mean, it's a good question. Sometimes there's things that are more than trading, I think, that can hold someone back, right? For the same reason why one person might be willing to go skydive today and the next person will never go and do it ever. Some people just have like their risk tolerance. Certain things are just, I've met people in the chat room who've been making $500 a day, and they've just felt good about where they are, right? People who are retired already have like a nice life, and then they're making that $500 every day. And for them, it's like, there's no need to push it, or, for me, as long as everything is going good, I think size is just, is inevitable, right? I think it's something that we should try and do. Size. And when it's going good, it seems to happen naturally, is what I like to say. Like, you just find yourself pushing it to the limits. And then too, there's always risk as part of it, right? Because no strategy is really 100%. There's been a lot of traders who've had this happen to them where it's their first day looking to size up, and despite not letting the size get into the way of them trading, meaning their emotions were still the same, they still treated the trade the same. They happen to have that day be a normal red day, but because they were sizing up, their average day is plus 300, and then that day they're down 1500, right? It definitely can mess with you a little bit. And it's like, man, wow, that was like a full week of trading, in one trade or one day. But on the contrary, you can also do it, and it can work out the first day, the first trade. And then the wind is to your back, and you feel very, very confident and aggressive to keep going. You see, the thing is with a time machine, right, is that you have to really have a game plan, because people like to say, just go back in time and do whatever. But if I go back in time to when Bitcoin is just like $5, I'm like a child, pretty much. I'm like 12 years old, or however old I'd be, 15, 16. I'd be broke as a joke. My family is still broke as a joke at that time, my relatives. And so if I go and tell an adult at that time, hey, instead of buying food for the house this week, invest this money into this coin, like I'll get slapped in the head, like. So I'd have to go back with some sort of plan of action to gain funds, or be able to convince an adult to gain funds via some sort of loan or something. And then, I mean, it'll be like a tough thing to pull off still. I mean, it'll be easy knowing that you have the information, but you still have to have a way to gain the capital, set up accounts, and don't be the guy who lost his password in that hard drive, because then he's digging up the whole landfill. And stuff like that is just so messed up. And imagine being that close to freedom, and then you can't remember your password. That is like, When you think you have problems and you zoom out a little bit, then you realize you have no problems at all. But yeah, I mean, going back with this type of information, more than likely you'll do well, even if it takes a little bit of time to get it going. I mean, we have all these companies, the Teslas of the world, the Nvidias. I mean, so many companies that, just 10, 15 years ago were very cheap. You can definitely go back with a serious game plan. Housing market, dirt cheap with the rates. Guys, try not to have arguments here. It looks like there might be an argument. If you start talking to an adult, well, I guess what you could do, what could work too, is if you go back with dates of certain major current events. I mean, that would be a very easy way. It's like, hey, in 2 days, XYZ is gonna happen on the news. Then they don't have a choice but to believe you at that point. Everything you say should be gold. But don't go too far back in time, because if you go to the wrong time frame, this will be considered witchcraft. And then they will put you in an Iron Maiden and throw you overboard to the depths. Oh, man. Day trading probably wouldn't even make sense at that point. I mean, it would make sense, but there's just so, I mean, you'd have so much on your plate, and how much, and so many different ways you're making money at that point. Once you have big money, though, you don't need to day trade, really. You have that tariff dip written down to the T as to when to buy stocks like Nvidia at those lows. 3 months later, 100% plus. You'd make a killing. You'd become a billionaire, within 1 year or less. Well, that is a very fictional thought. Here in the real world, we got to contemplate on how to become a billionaire with our current tools. With our current tools. Let me see what you guys are saying here. I think two people are having a conversation. Perry, if you guys really want to, show some screenshots, you guys can jump in the chat room and feel free. Yeah, I mean, there's been people who, like, we've seen videos with guys who are only having like 3 red days a year. I mean, there's some crazy strategies out there, right? So, and not everybody watching on is hyper scalping. A lot of people are trading longer holds, some short sellers. A while back, one of the bigger traders in the chat room here was a short seller. Raphael from Toronto. Where is he right now? I don't know. And hopefully my niece is doing well. See, you get to know the traders so well that you kind of get a little personal, Hopefully Sophia is doing well. But these are people who have made so much money. Like, it's hard to think that they are like, they had issues per se. I've been Raphael. I don't know where Raphael is. Usually, if he's around, he'll message me. But yeah, I've been averaging 3K a day in the sim going short. Is this sustainable? I'd say, once you have the capital to go live, go live. You can, if you want to, you can start a little smaller, size down a little bit. Make sure everything is, how it is, right? Your fills, your everything is good. Your emotions, all that good stuff, and if you're doing it, I mean, market conditions can change. It could get hotter. You can make more. It could get a little colder. You could make less. But I mean, if you're doing it consistently for at least 3 months, that's a really good start there. But if you're consistent for just 1 week, or one month, we like to see at least 3 months is really good. PT. So in the chat room, we'd have virtual meetups where we like tune in with our camp. But we'll do another one soon. I kind of mentioned it a while back. Sometimes these slower markets, when the market is so slow, it's like it's just so gloomy, right? You're kind of just leaving trading and doing other things outside of the market. But we'll do another one sometime soon. And you get to put a face behind the names in the chat room. It's how we met all these people, and some people started study groups together, and so forth and so forth. It's still online, so I always preach to people to be safe, never give out any personal information, things like that. But the chat room, it's like filtered. It's somewhat filtered, but it's still the internet at the end of the day, so you still want to be careful. Take time, build the friendships. Some people have good study groups. 3, 4 people will, have their own small group calls. So here's how I would say it'll have to work, right? For anybody who's living in the same, for people who are living in the same state, and sometimes even the same cities, it's why the chat room is a good place, right? You can do audio calls, you can do video calls, you can do study sessions. And then if people get to the point where they feel comfortable, you can meet up for some lunch or something. That's how the team house started, by the way, for those of you who don't know, right? Crispy lives 10 minutes away from me. I'm having a barbecue. I say, hey, Crispy, come over for some food, right? If you're free and hungry. That's how the chat room, the value of the chat room, right? Some of the other guys are a little further away. There are some other traders who I haven't met that live close. What's this guy name in the chat room? I met so many people on video calls, right? Back in the days, I do free mentor sessions. And then this is like even before MMU. I do free mentor sessions, and then within MMU we do a lot of video calls. And then also like for the blue check verification in the chat room, a lot of video calls there. Met a lot of good people. Glumford is the guy's name. He's in New York. He's pretty close to me actually. And then this other guy's in Trenton. I'm forgetting his name. I haven't seen him post in a while actually. What's his name? Traders like Jackson. The only person to this day, the only person Like Jackson was a great guy to meet. The only person who refused to show their face, even Kitty showed his face, and this is another trader who lives in New York. Haven't seen him in a chat room in a while. Fun fact: he also edited our team house trip to Florida and Vegas. And what a cool guy and a great editor too. Hopefully he's doing well. Cactus Rob, man. Cactus Rob is the only trader who denied showing his face to us. I don't know why. Cactus Rob, man. We're on the team house trip. And it's all like 6 of us there too, or 7 of us. And Cactus Rob said, hey, I'm in bed and I'm not getting up. What an opportunity that was missed out there, man. But you guys know we love Cactus Rob. Also another great trader here in the chat room. Alice, also good. We've had some success stories with some good people. Dash, I've spoke to Dash. Dash is doing really well, man. Shout out to Dash. I've had a couple of video calls with him over the years. He's pretty cool. And these are young guys, man. Dash is I think maybe like 23. You're 23 years old making $10,000 a day, right? You can level up pretty quickly. Twin, you guys have seen Twin around. Twin is also great. I had long conversations with Twin. I mean, so many people. You guys remember Pre-Market Trader from the chat room? T-Dog. Pre-Market Trader gave us so much advice. This is a guy who I think at the time had like over 500 or maybe 1,000 units when it comes to like real estate. He gave us a lot of insight to what he does and how he runs his operation. T-Dog from Vegas, also a really good guy. High on Stocks was also pretty good too. I mean, he was one of the traders that'll trade backside. I've never saw anyone else trade the backside so well. The guy, and he was a great trader, right? So let's say on the move up, he makes $1,000. But then when this move here starts, right? This chop going down right here, the guy will add like 5K, 6K to his day in this area, which is like insane to be so accurate in the backside. Entries like this could be pretty good, of course, right? Where we have this bear flag breakout and this nice move up, but to really make the gains in this downtrend going long, I haven't seen anybody else since him do that well in these areas. High on Stocks. We've had some characters too. Guys who, certain people we have to just like remove from the chat room just because it's like they seem cool, but at every chance you give them, they just continue to let you down, Like, we got to make sure at the very least, if you're somebody who is vocal in the chat room, it's like you have to verify yourself, And if you can't verify yourself with myself, Marcelo, or one of the other guys, Big Steve, it's like we can't vouch for you, And so it's like we have to remove some people, sadly, just for transparency reasons. By the way, shout out to Nikki as well, right? And these people, a lot of the people who I'm mentioning here, trading, is typically an older audience, right? 35 and up. A lot of people with great careers, Wrong Bet, another name that comes to mind. People with great careers who are also, looking to trade. Nurses, doctors, engineers. People with some very respected positions making, you know, six figures, multiple six figures, and also looking to learn how to trade. SF, you know, shout out to SF as well, who's literally a heart surgeon and also is in the chat room every day. MR, the list goes on. Jimmy, I mean, Jimmy's a great guy as well. Can't speak enough about Jimmy. Jimmy's a really good guy. These are people you could tell, like, if you met them, like, you know, you would have been like really good friends, like in person as well. Rich Linux. The day we go to Chicago, we're checking out Rich for sure. I will not forget. Definitely the pizza over there too. I've heard some good things. Oh man. Leave it to Marcelo, man. By the way, SKBL is curling back up to highs. Still not tradable. What do I think about trading farmer not streaming anymore? You know, I'll keep saying this, right? As much as this guy was going so crazy on us, right? This is how you guys will know that I'm a solid individual. I don't hold any grudges. I don't feel any type of way. Like I don't carry any feelings in these situations. Whilst I will admit it was a weird situation for this guy to be like going at us in this way. The guy is a good trader. And him not streaming is probably just like a personal decision just to take it easy. Because at the end of the day, this is a grind, you know, like this trading thing is a grind, man. Like it can take a toll on you. Like there are days where I don't want to stream. I can say this like openly. Like there are days where I don't want to stream. There's sometimes things that, you know, you just need a break. You need like a vacation, right? You need time off. Trading is fun, trading is great, but even trading is a grind in itself, right? And you can be for me personally, I can be frustrated at times like when it's slow and you know you're just here and it's like, man. But everybody needs a break. I don't have anything bad to say about this guy. I mean, you know, the situation itself was crazy because honest to God, from my perspective, you know, like it wasn't any drama, right? I mean, the way how the guy would talk, you would swear that right now I'm lying. Like there's no way. Like there had to been something that had happened, but nothing had happened, right? Other than us just removing ourselves, like you know, from being like with him because he just started talking a little crazy about us once we made a course. And I'm not making this up. So we're like, okay, you know, that's fine. We'll just like ease you off. And that's all there was. So there was no drama, right? Like there was no like fighting or back and forth, none of that stuff like that. And we, you know, in terms of like how close we were, I'd say like acquaintance. Like we weren't really like close. Could he have been close with some of the other guys or any of the other guys? Maybe, but I wouldn't know this. Um, like for me, I could explain our like relationship. You know, one day, and I'm not gonna take too long on this, but one day I'm on YouTube, right? And it pulls up, you know, you're on the YouTube homepage. It does like suggested videos at times to people who you're not subscribed to. So I saw trading farm. I'm like, okay, let me check this out. This seems pretty cool. And then when I checked out one of the video for that same day, it just so happened that we ended up taking a very similar trade. And this around this time, I'm like talking about share size a lot, like why using bigger size will, essentially help you to make more. Nothing new. We've heard this a million times, whether from like guys like Ross or Common Sense. So I ended up making a video, right? This is like at the end of the day when it's like time for recap. And I showed the trade that I took. I showed the trade that he took in the video. And it's the same exact trade. And I'm in like 2K size. I think he's in like 10K size or something like that. And I'm like, here's the difference between making $200 and like $2,000 in a trade. And then I shouted out his channel. I'm like, hey, check him out. Let him know RT sent you, right? So it's like that's how this whole thing even started. Is me kind of seeing a random channel and giving a shout. So it's already starting off with a nice gesture, like something cool and nothing like malice or hate, right? So that's how it started. And then he's like, "Hey, you want to do a like a podcast video? That way his audience could know me, and like it could be like a collab video." I'm like, "Okay, fine, that sounds good." We do that, and then like maybe like 5 months, 4 months passes, and then that's when things got a little weird. STSS back up a bit. So in between those 4 or 5 months, he'll come to my channel, say what's up. I'll go to his channel, say what's up. And then, once the course came out is where it got like a little weird. I don't know why, because, a course shouldn't have anything to do with you and your well-being and, what you're doing. So I thought it was a little strange for us to get like some, back talk. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm going to pull away. And so with us pulling away, I don't know how he took that. And then, that's kind of where that thing started of like, hey, like these guys are mad like every day. But it's like this stuff is like ABCD 1 2 3, like nothing complicated or complex, which is why I say there's like nothing there at all, right? Now, when somebody does something like this, right, like talk bad about you for putting out a product, that for me is where like the line is drawn. I'm like, okay, then that's fine. I'm just gonna separate myself. And so I don't think anybody could be mad at that, right? Especially since the back talk came from you, right? But it wasn't anything like serious or deep. And, the people who I'm really close with will ultimately have my phone number, like my personal phone number. Like the only other YouTuber that I know, I mean, besides High on Stocks, who was like a YouTuber, he'd never had my phone number either. Although, if he had stayed in a chat room, it probably would have gotten there. Maybe Juan Trades was like another YouTuber as well. He's a cool. Him and Marcelo are cool, I think. Calamity and him I think are cool as well. They'll play like Rocket League and all these games at times, but I never really got like close with him. They're all right, but this is what I'll say about these people, right? Is that anytime anybody comes into this chat room that has a channel and they post their P&L and leave, it's not a good sign. Like it's a red flag. If you're hanging out here and you do that, it's a different story. Like you can do whatever you want at that point. But if you just post, hey, I'm up 2K and gone, yeah, that doesn't look too healthy. Which both of these people fell victim of early. But I'm still not gonna let that write you off. It's just like a red flag, but okay. We give you more chances, right? And there's the story there, right? Short, brief, to the point, nothing too deep, surface level stuff. Surface level. This is how you know it's slow. I'm going into backstories. Slow, slow, slow. STSS, I'm not touching. Building an app for a client for trading. What kind of app? A scanner? Um, is this related to like a brokerage firm? I need more details. All right, RT, I like you, but I don't know. I don't see how you can teach anything. I mean, I usually see you chasing trades and taking profits too soon. See, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're trying to say, right? But here's what I'll tell you. The relentless trader is proven, right? I have metrics to back me up, brother. Hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of metrics. And with also Marcelo and others, millions of dollars of metrics. All right? Including students too who are very profitable. So I would beg to differ, right? And the way how I teach the strategy in the course, so it's also at times do as I say, not as I do, right? Because I'm not going to always execute the strategy perfectly, right? That can be because of hesitation, emotions, fear, overconfidence, all these different things, whilst the strategy is always in the Goldilocks zone, right? The strategy is one way all the time, every time. And at times we can be high, we can be low, etc., right? And so let me take this opportunity to pull up my metrics here. Granted, I am 5K off of my metrics because I can't import from this freaking platform yet. So where my metrics is right now will minus 5K off the top, right? Let me enlighten you, my friend. Let the pastor seize this opportunity. What I also like to tell people too is to go back. Like, you got to go back. You can't come just today, last week. You got to go back to 2020 and watch every video till today. And then you'll understand why I'm the people's champion. And I am a little, I'm confident in myself, so I'll talk a certain way. But, this is not to offend anybody, right? When I make these jokes. But, regardless of what anybody wants to say, the numbers are the numbers. And this is why I'm allowed to sell a course. I think there should be a police force, a governing body that gives you the badge of honor to sell a course. And that badge of honor is transparency. Because there's so many people selling a course these days. But how many of them are really real? How many of them are really putting it on the line every day? This is why I could respect a guy like Ross, because this guy actually live streams. There's big traders like that who it doesn't even seem like they post a video. So for all of the traders who are transparent, that's where I have respect. Let's go to the cumulative. How do you get to this thing? Oh yeah, right here. Win-loss expectation. The pastor has the right to post because he has been doing it. Let's zoom out a little bit right here. Minus 5K off the top of this area here, right? Day in, day out, one day at a time, slowly but surely. I have no issues showing this, right? And you know what? I have students who've made money. Take Big Steve, for example. NEXT. Hold up. NEXT. Take Big Steve, for example. You know, we don't have nearly as many success stories as we should, because for one reason or another, people don't want to show their face. It's like to the point where I want them to put on a ski mask just to do the story. Like sometimes it's because they're working like their normal career and they don't want to get into any trouble. You know, some people are like remote. They technically probably shouldn't be trading. And if it's found out that, hey, this person is the market opens at 7 a.m., 8:30, right? Think or swim at least 7 a.m. or market open 9:30. This person reports to work from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. and whoa, they're making money in the market. That means they're not always working the job, right? So a lot, like half the people who are profitable in the chat room, they don't want to share just because of that. The other half, it's other things like, a guy like Dash is trading full time, and it's for him, it's still get hard to get him to come and do the success story, right? Big Steve has different reasons. Like people have different reasons. But yeah, we have. Let me come back to it. We have a lot of students who are doing very well. So it's not like, hey, only RT and Marcelo has made money. Marcelo also, Marcelo has made over 2 million. Tim, the list goes on and on, right? Tim also, like, very crazy trader, nasty work, like insanity, right? Sensational. Who else is in there? I mean, there's this. I'd have to look at the chat. I mean, I could there's Lucas Jackson. I mean, the list goes on and on, right? People who've came in and had some awesome results. Now, is every student profitable? The answer is no, right? Did every student turn the corner? The answer is no. Trading is still risky. Trading is still hard. And at the end of the day, there are variables as well, right? So what we promise here is transparency. That's what we promise. I can show you. Let me log into my student account real quick. Hold up. I'm gonna go to the disclaimer screen here. Let me just log into my student account, right? Everything that we've ever learned, this is the key with us. Everything we've ever learned, we teach it. Not leaving out half of it, hiding the other half, only showing this, only showing that. Nah. Everything. Let's see. Go back. So if I come to my student account and I log in, right? I'm logged in and I come over here to the course. Guys, you can go we have everything here. From absolute zero. Somebody who knows nothing off the street. And we made it this way purposefully, just in case people, found out about us and didn't know much and still wanted to learn. So of course it's a little beginner friendly early, but then as you keep going, myself, Marcelo, we take turns going from class to class, chapter to chapter, and you go through everything. We have all of our coaching calls here, recorded. All of our mentor sessions are recorded. People can rewatch them. If you're a student, you can always come and rewatch all of that stuff. You get into the very beginning from chapter 1, and then it's progressive. The previous chapter helps to build on to the next, and then so forth, and then so forth, and then so forth, and then so forth, and so forth, and so forth. Right? You can come in here with the mighty himself. It's almost like a full-on presentation that you'll do at school that's fully detailed. First, we go through picture examples, and then we go through video examples utilizing our live trading, right? So, in chapter 14, one of my favorite chapters, chapter 24 as well, another one of my favorite chapters, right? You'll go through it myself and the mighty chapter after chapter after chapter. And then we also will show you guys the live examples of our trades and exactly what we're doing to make money, right? We go through everything. We talk about what we're looking for, the trades we're taking, the gains we're making, everything, right? I mean, just looking back at this right now, right? I'm in on a stock that's having a bull flag, and I'm only in with 1,200 shares. Jesus Christ, bro! Let this happen today. Let this happen in a hot market now. Oh, okay, 2,400 shares, but still, let this happen in a hot market now, and watch the size I'm going to be taking there. 30,000 shares in that same trade. Watch, right? The opportunities are here, and the money printing is here when the hot market is here, right? So the opportunities are endless. And then you have the mighty with the VWAP pullback. The mighty himself. Hold up. Here's the mighty. The mighty himself will give you an example as well. And then above all else, you know, something that's really valuable is the live trading archive library that we have here, where you can come back and see these previous videos. I mean, this was an insane day here on CERO. You know, how did RT make $17,000 on this day? Like this raw, nobody's doing this stuff, right? The raw recording of how I made $17,000 without skipping anything is here for people to come and watch 1,000 times. Nobody in the world is doing this stuff. This is why I have the badge to come here and do anything. I can come here and do anything because this is here for the people to see. This is here for the people to see. You know, red days, green days. How did the mighty go from minus 1K, minus 3K to plus 1K on this day? How did he have this turnaround? From plus 5K to minus 5K revenge trading. How did Mighty make 4K on a slow and steady day, right? And you guys know Mighty with the big gains, right? Mighty stocks right here. Plus 7,000 high accuracy trading. The full raw recording. Plus 10,000. You know, it's like when you have when you go to like an apprenticeship for plumbing, one of these like technical fields, it's like you're mirroring what the person is doing and you're like somewhat watching on, you're learning over time. This is why our students are doing well, right? Of course, not all of them have become profitable, but especially the ones who've turned the corner, like it's because they have the information here, not us like hiding everything away, showing one thing only, one setup. Like, nah, everything is here. Every single thing. BTCT. How did Mighty make 16,000? Do you guys want a sneak peek? I shouldn't even be showing this, not even at all. You're lying. I'm on the disclaimer screen. Holy shit! No fucking way. Bro, there's no way. Holy shit. I'm cooked. I'm cooked. Bro, alright, now I gotta take a break. Hold up. There's no way. Why didn't one person in the chat room at me, man? I'm gonna go mad here. Bro, holy smokes. At least, okay, I didn't show anything really. I didn't really click on any videos. I'm just like going through my student account. Do you guys want a sneak peek of how the Mighty made 16,000? Bro, what the hell, man? There's no way I'm on the disclaimer screen right there. You know what? I did that to log in and I forgot. That's what happened. Holy smokes. I can't show this because it's just too much. It's unfair if I show this to the world and the students are like here, you know. But the full raw recording of the Mighty. The full raw recording. BTCT I'm just gonna skip through the P&Ls on the bottom left. The mighty started to dial in this thing and started to go crazy here. 7,000 already at this time frame, as the stock is now at, what was that, $13? Man, Marcelo definitely trades like a little different than I do in some areas. Like, I'd watch the other guys' archives from time to time, and it's like how we approach the setup is what is sometimes different in some areas. Most of the times is the same, but what Marcelo would do very differently from what I would do is that in some of these pullbacks, I'd see this guy holding through, like on a stock like this especially, like holding through like a 60, 70, 80 cent draw, like, dip, and really working the range, like giving it a chance, like it's despite being a little red, maybe even adding a little bit. Where I'd look back, because I'd have like side by side screens. I look back at my recording. The moment it came down below that new low, I stopped out, and then I'm watching to see if I want to get back in. Like those things are like sometimes like the small differences, those key areas like that. But anyhow, I mean, despite having the wrong screen on, now I feel like a fool. Oh man. At least we got a good look at the disclaimer. That's the one good thing. We show everything, man. That's the key. And we also have some really nice review sessions with the entire chat room that's been posted. We have guys like Crispy Trades going over some trades for us. Beam, one of our students had a $60,000 day, and gave us a full recap of his day with live trades. Like we have all these things saved in here in the classes. I mean, some insane stuff. And we don't hold back anything. Like we tell you like how the market is designed, right? For people to fail, for people to lose, and why we have to do what we have to do to be able to get to prosperity, right? Bro, I can't believe I was on the wrong screen. But anyhow, where? Okay, all right. So yeah, when you join the classes, and it's much more than just the classes. It does take time to go through these chapters, but you also have the community. You'll make good friends. You have the mentor sessions, the group calls. I mean, I've had a couple of sessions where I went for a few hours. I went for like a few hours on a couple days, like, just going over trades with the team. The mighty making 16K. Shout out to Tim, who's also team house member. Was also part of MMU for some time. Also a cool guy. This is a good place to perhaps shut it down. Oh, unreal, man. Unreal. Not one person in the chat room told the pastor. Shout out to Dash, who did tell me there eventually. Yeah, this is how it looks a little on the outer shell. So the software does track your progress, so you know where you left off, and then you keep going. These are all the coaching calls, study sessions, rehab sessions, so forth and so forth. There are more too later down. Yes, sirree. Yes, sirree. Live and direct. So for the person that mentioned, how could I teach anything? My awesome sweet gains is one, and a structured course is two, and then three profitable students. So I need more respect of my name. All right. I don't care if I struggle this whole year. Like at the end of the day, we've done it. We're gonna continue to do it. We're gonna improve. We're gonna get better. And I already said this multiple times. I'll have to die. I'll literally have to die to not keep showing up here to try to improve. I'll have to die. And even then, I'll wake up in heaven and I'll summon up a laptop and start again right away. Immediately. Immediately, I'll start again right away. Start again right away. Start again right away. This list should be 3-4 times as long. But shout out to the people who did come. And this is also on YouTube, by the way. Shout out to the people who did share. You know, Alice recently for Girl Power. You know, Andy. Shout out to Andy. Andy is also a cool guy. We met him on Vegas. No, Arizona. Daniel and Dominique. Shout out to those guys as well. Beam, Jackson, Lucas. I mean, I think Lucas has to be around like 700,000 already by now. Lucas had a $250,000 month, actually. So shout out to Lucas. I think Beam added like another 300K already. You know, Big Steve is up there. Cactus Rob. I mean, the list goes on and on. We can even add Red to Green to this list. Red to Green in one way or another was a student as well. There's a lot of blue names who I'd say had learned a lot from watching us in our recaps. But we'll never really know the full impact of all the people who've became profitable from watching us. All right. I mean, they might have also watched other people. I don't know. But the Pastor and the Mighty will take the credit. Also, we used to post raw archive. I mean, the stuff we used to be doing, man. We post raw archives of a big day. Like, you telling me people didn't learn anything from those stuff? Come on, man. It's impossible. Two brothers, right? Two brothers who are trading in the same living room. We're the first mentors to produce sibling students who are profitable. Although Alice actually has a twin, although he's leaning towards a different strategy, right? Man. Well, I'd love to have all the future success stories be in person though. I think that would be really nice to have them in person. Bro, I don't know, like the person that I am, man, it's all good. I understand psychology and I'm very confident in myself. You know, I can do this all day long. I've been doing this since I was about 6 years old when I performed my first poem in front of a 60 people audience. It's actually a poem about taking a mango from a woman's tree in her yard. I know here in the States, people don't have fruit trees really. You know, going to especially like a front yard, going to California and Arizona, it was good to see at least orange trees, a lot of orange trees around. But here in the Northeast, besides having like a little garden in your backyard, it's like nobody have fruit trees versus back in the islands, you have fruit trees like everywhere. I mean, the cherries there are like way different. They're way better too. You have cherry trees, mangoes, just to name a few, right? Mango trees. I mean, just so many different fruits. Pears. Like our neighbor, his tree had pears, and it's like, you know, instead of going to any store to get pears, it's like right there, right? Coconut trees were everywhere. I haven't seen a fruit tree here since I moved to this country. Everything is so monopolized. Okay, I'm pronouncing the word wrong here. You guys know what I'm trying to say. It's like a monopoly, so I mean, you got to go to the store if you want any fruits. Very controlled. Might I dare to say communism? No, I'm kidding. As we know, this is the greatest country in the world. Still a little weird to not have the fruit trees, but I also had my famous poem to the next red month. That poem, every time I read that poem, I wouldn't say emotional. I feel some sort of sensation. It motivates me too, because this is a poem that I wrote back in like 2020. And I spoke about, red days and red months and what it really means for you as a trader. It's a stepping stone all the time, every time, for you to get better and learn, just keep learning, keep pushing, keep growing. Bring one of them on YouTube one day. Okay, I see the brothers. Honestly, I could have people on more. I could have people on. It's a matter of if people want to come on, though. Dash is right here. Dash is listening right now. Dash, what is the reason for us not to have a success story from you right now? Right? I can find the poem. Hold on, I'll pull up the poem here. We're actually having conversations about our next team house. It's gonna happen. We're probably gonna book it within 2 weeks. There's just a little bit of heel dragging because it's slow, I think, for people. I keep telling, if I could show the messages to the world, which I'll never do, but if I could, every time a team house is mentioned, the first thing I say is that my bags are packed. And my bags are packed and I'm ready to go, even if it's tomorrow. If the trip is tomorrow, I'm ready to go. But some of the other guys are a little bit more, I have full flexibility, full freedom to just next day, gone. Dash, here's what's going to happen, right? I'm going to bring you to the next team house, even if I have to fly you out first class, okay? I'm going to bring you to the next team house, and we're going to record your success story in front of the pool, right? In a nice setting. The team house is quite an experience every time. I mean, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like the team house. Also, Beam's wedding, man. I for some reason, I don't know why, Beam's wedding is like a top 10 day of my life for some reason. Like I had some really nice days, but this day just came out of nowhere and I had such a good time. But you guys can check out our trips, right? You can always feel free to check out. Actually, let me open this. Hold on, let me open this over here so I don't advertise anyone else's channels and all these nonsense. Although it doesn't really matter. Who's you know what? Let's show it. Whose channel am I advertising? Oh, I did not click that. Freak. Crap. Son of a gun. See right there, that's how you have a hotkey error. All right, we got it back. Who am I advertising? Ben Mala. Of course, meet Kevin, who I'll watch from time to time. Talks a little bit about the Fed. Single screen. We can put it like this. Richard Fain are those crazy thumbnails as usual. The team house, man. Can we see something? And this was a great conversation here, by the way. Tim, $16,000. January 2023 to June of 2023, and then the second half of that same exact year. Kitty did mess up the Kitty messed up the edit here. But the back half of the same year, 300K. Shout out to Tim. Now it's so slow, and I'm done trading here. It's a small red day down $100. I'd call it a successful day. Keeping it tight. Although we were green 500, we gave back. We gave back off the top. I could have stopped at like 200. Well, the stock still had opportunities, but it was so choppy for me, right? Got caught. Let's put on the audio here, man. Let's put on the audio. Properties, desktop. Why is it not working? I think I have to change my actual settings as well. I might have to change my actual settings as well. Tim in the building.
Where everybody has in their career where they just kind of take off. Getting to that point takes a lot of effort and a lot of willpower, but when you get there, it makes everything worth it. So don't quit.
Day one with the boys. Day one. I think that audio might be a little too loud. Hold up. Day one with the boys. Bro, this team house trips, man. I tell you guys. This is one of the guys from Florida here. Minty in the chat room. You know, imagine having this, like we do some crazy, and you know, this is our way of giving back. Like what we did, was we flew out the students, and we paid for their stay in the house. Like, just, you know, like it's almost like a vacation too. If I can get to the bottom of my audio here. It says it's turned down, but it's still 100K. Easy 100K. And Dominic, I was at 150K. You see, this is why these videos blow up too, is because you don't expect anybody to be saying anything like this, you know? How much are you guys gonna make in 1 week? 100,000. And it's like, there's no way, you know? You got Crispy, you got Will, the mighty himself, Save, Tim, and some of the other guys in the other table. When we go out, sometimes it's so many of us that, you know, we got to use 2-3 tables sometimes. Beam, Tim, Drew. Hey, shout out to Marco, man. Marco, one of those cool guys that we met
today.
Hey, Daniel. Fun fact, we've met the siblings of a few of the traders and our friends, close friends. Great people, man. Great people. Shout out to Beat a Story. Beat a Story came to one of the trips as well. Great guy. We also met some great people through him. We haven't had one bad experience to this day, hanging out with the team house and just meeting people. Always a good time. You know. Crispy holding it down for the team here with a massive green day. Actually, how did we finish this week? I can't remember. Save was red 8,000 this day, man. Save the monster was down 8,000. There's a day on this trip where we went to the mall at like 1 p.m. and like half the guys stayed. It's like, you know, we had the first wave of momentum. It was cool.
NAMI.
And then we left out, and then they called us like, hey, a stock is ripping. I mean, I've never seen so many people race back to a car that quickly. We're maybe 20 minutes away. We get back and the stock is halted up. So of course it was dip and rip. Nobody else does this madness though. Like, you know, when you leave, you should leave and that should be it, right?
NAMI.
I'm in high demand these days. Dash, you can't forget your roots, man. You can't forget your roots, brother. I can't remember that. Actually, what's interesting, I'll show you exactly where I had the conversation with you. And I think this is the day where I gave you the course, right? It's one of these days. Like I was in, so this is like the front part of the house. Did we do
NAMI.
a house tour at any point? We did do a house tour. Off to the left right here, right? So this is where we had the setups right before, and it kind of skipped it here. But once you turn around, right through here, I don't know if he showed this entire thing. Yeah, right here on this couch. I was right here, facing the pool, and this is where I hooked it up. So this is why I'm saying like we're gonna do the success story by a pool. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be nice.
NEXT.
It's gonna be nice, nice, nice. Massive doors on these massive doors. These houses, these properties. Really, when we talked to the like the last one we've been to, we spoke to the owner. They're doable, man. They're doable, you know? They're actually pretty doable. Especially if it's not like Miami or outside of Miami, California and or New York. They're like very doable. They're still like a pretty penny, but I think the last one we stayed at, I think he said he paid, I think it was 2.6 or 3.1. I think 2.6. 2.6 or 3.1. And that included everything, like everything, basketball court, tennis stuff, pool. I mean, it's really not that bad, you know? It's not that bad. The team house, man, the team house. But yeah, you guys can always feel free to check out the channel if you haven't seen these videos. I know there's at least maybe a few people watching on. You got the boys on a 60-foot catamaran right here. On a 60-foot catamaran. And all these properties are owned by like mostly like entrepreneurs and CEOs. There's actually like a boat tour that you can do where they'll like tell you like who owns like what properties and so forth. It's like, hey, the CEO of Coca-Cola, this guy, he lives there. And these houses are like summer houses, unless they live in Miami. Sometimes they live somewhere else, and then they'll you know, go back and forth. How much am I up on the year? This is one of my slowest years ever. A measly, actually, I'm not even 50,000, 45, and I'll probably have to include fees. This is the slowest year, and in comparison, right? Like even if I pull up right here, where I have the channel, I've had months where I've like made more. You know, it's so crazy, right? It's how slow it's been. I've been in like this sideways consolidation for so long. I've gotten to the highs and then lost money twice already here, even in the last like 3 to 4.5 weeks. But yeah, coming back to another success story. And by the way, I have one would be the story. Oh man, this one got cut short, man. Fun fact, I had to pay the chef, and he was waiting on me, and he was blowing up my phone during this interview, and I'm like, man, not for some reason I left him in the kitchen with all the other guys, and whilst I was the person like he was talking to, anybody there could have paid him if they had only known that like he was waiting to get paid, and so he just kept calling me, and I had to cut this interview short. Sadly, this could have went 50 minutes or 40 minutes, another 20, 15. Save, Tim. These interviews are really this one was really good too. I gotta redo Beam and Lucas at some point, but like this one was really good. The brothers, man, where they go through their metrics, and these guys are really consistent. You know, they started off slow and steady, then they added the size. You know, just look at how clean this calendar is. I mean, just insanity, right? Insane. November, one of the hotter months last year. These guys are 22 years old, you know. You know, think about what you would do. I mean, of course, we all have to pay our taxes, so this number is of course reduced. But after your taxes, you have a sweet month like this. You know, you have a sweet month. Just think about all the things you can do. You know, lifestyle changes. Maybe you improve your eating habits with more organic food. Pay off all your debts. You know, take out that car loan that's been there. Student loans you can eliminate very quickly in 1 month. I mean, but this is the other side, and the other side after size, right? After consistency, after hard work. Not just overnight, get rich quick. Not none of that nonsense. What years, right? Years. So these are some great interviews. You guys can check it out, right? Watch them, see what these guys say. You know, any tips and tricks you can pick up from their trading. And you can see it's all smiles. All smiles all the way around, right? And this is how my setup actually looks when the camera's facing me. I have an office. I haven't been to my office in like a good 2 weeks. I gotta go today. I actually have to go today. Go there and do some other type of work. The home office is nice, but sometimes you want to, like, you know, have a different space. Wait till you guys see Crispy's office. Crispy's office is like a freaking man. Hopefully these guys come back to YouTube one day. You know, if they can come back to YouTube one day, maybe they can show a video or two with some like updates, and I think people would really like it. I think that people would love it to see.
Traders.
What up, what up, what up? By the way, here's a look at what our virtual meetups would look like. This is how they usually are. Although everyone should have their cameras on, it's usually mandatory. You know, next time I'll kick people out if they don't have it. That's what I'll have to do. I'll have to like be firm, right? But shout out to everyone who did come in and
SKBL
shared a little bit about themselves. It's always nice.
VSAT.
It's always nice. Nice to see the people. And you can see the faces will change because we'll be going for a while. And you know, more and more people are like coming in as some people are leaving out. Don't underestimate our chat room, man. That's all I have to say, right? Like, our chat room is where it goes down. Like, nowhere else is doing stuff like this, right? Only the best chat room in the world. It's going down like this. You know, I gotta message Jessica. I haven't spoken to Jessica in a long time. I hope she's doing all right. Jessica was a chat room member who I think moved on from trading now. I believe she's a financial advisor, I want to say. Shout out to Jess. We met some really nice people over the years, man. By the way, I also had my so a lot of you guys know I have a sibling that trade. Whilst you guys have never really seen him on the channel, like here he is right here. Like so I mean, you have to like I'm very transparent, right? I mean, you have to like watch to really see everything. Like you have to be watching. But you know, here he is like sharing his story. I mean, you guys can check this out, right? You guys can, and it was a good story too. You guys can check this out. This video is in the podcast section. Also, shout out to BMac, man. BMac is another great guy. I mean, we've met so many great people over the years. I can go forever about the good people we've met here in the chat room. BMac is a great guy. You know, some of these people, it's like they're so cool. It's like, you know, we wish we could just invite everybody. I keep saying maybe one day we'll have to do like a massive hotel or something. I think that would be really nice to do. If we can get like 40 people, maybe it might, you know, maybe if it's too big, it might not be good. But if we can get like 40 people one time, you know, at least 3-4 days at a nice resort somewhere or something, and like really have a real solid meetup, you know? Like I can see that, man. Nothing is impossible. And honestly, something like that is kind of easy to pull off. It shouldn't be that difficult. It shouldn't be that difficult to pull it off. Oh my gosh, bro. And I read one of the comments, it's somebody hating on us. Here's how I respond to the hate, right? Look at this. Love these. It's a lot of good, 99% good comments. But you know, we're so transparent, we're not hiding anything. So someone here said, you know, this is all rented, stop the BS. And it's like, we would like to think that that's obvious, you know? I think it's pretty obvious that we rent a pretty big place for a week. It doesn't mean that it's cheap because sometimes it still comes up. I mean, they're expensive. I mean, I'm not going to get into the finances, but it's expensive. It is expensive. Anything in the States that look like that, if you go to the islands,
RAY,
you know, depending on the island, but like Turk and Caicos is like crazy expensive there too. But you know, Mexico and some of these other places, you know, Jamaica, you're not going to pay as much. I heard Bali is a little bit more expensive now, but still not bad. You know, you can get a nice bang for your buck and get something that looks just like these big mansions for cheaper. But yeah, why would we? I mean, if we do a permanent team house, I mean, there could be talks into buying something at that point, but even then, it'd have to be like a really long commitment for at least 10 years for it to make sense, or 5 years maybe. Let's say 5 years. It wouldn't make sense to buy a mansion just for like a year or two, you know? But best believe that we could do anything. Like, especially as a group, like we could do anything. The boys are well-rounded.
RAY.
A lot of these guys are not just traders. They are doing other things too. You know, other businesses, other venues, other opportunities. I don't like to share too much because I want to, you know, always protect the guys' their privacy. So I'll just always keep it surface level. But you know, everyone is always working on something new and trying to be better in their own ways.
RAY.
But this is a good place to shut it down. We'll exit with some Top Golf. My nose is getting a little stuffy. Beam and Spartan, these two guys are actually golfers. They are not by any means the amateur golfing that Marcelo is going on. Oh man, I'll catch you guys later. These sports, they look so easy, but at the same time it's so, it requires a skill, you know? Yeah, take care, stay safe, stay green. Check out these videos if you haven't already. Check out the chat room. You can check out the classes if you're interested in as well in learning how to trade. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow, hopefully for a hotter day of momentum. All right, stay safe, stay green. The past store. Let me see if I'm missing any last minute
RAY.
questions here. When I make a couple million. A fraternity house.
SLDE.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any questions here towards the end. Yeah, stay disciplined, stay patient. Accused of selling dreams?
NAMI.
Accused of selling dreams.
RAY.
Okay, looks like there's a comment that can keep me here another 2 minutes. Am I selling a dream? You guys let me know in the comments if you think I'm selling a dream.
SLDE.
Here's the interesting about. Let me read this comment again. Got in trouble. So is this like a fine or just like backlash from people?
RAY.
You know what's so interesting about these topics is that a part of this country is built on selling a dream. The American dream. So it's just so it's like we're nitpicking here at a certain point, you know? What do you mean selling a dream? It's like, why does one person get blamed for something and then somebody else doesn't?
RAY.
It'll be better if everybody has to follow the same rules. But at times in this world, it seems like some people are punished. And it's not that like I'm defending this guy or anything, right? It's like, it's more so, I mean, I just went on a whole rant on all the trips we're going on, right? So I want to know if
SLDE.
I'm selling a dream now. Because if I'm selling a dream by talking about these trips that we went on because we were able to become profitable, then holy shit, right? I mean, it's kind of tough. You get into it, you get into the American dream and owning a house and maybe owning a car and having it paid off, and I mean that's why people even immigrate to this country at all. Is having some sort of a dream. So by extension, if you're transparent, and that's why I like transparency, right? If you're transparent in something that you're doing well and you're sharing honestly what you're doing, then it's like you should have the green light. You should have the green light.
RAY.
If you're being dishonest in what you're teaching, what you're sharing, then I think that's where you should have a real problem, you know? You should be sued, you should be fined, you should be discontinued. Everything should be gone. But there's so many people who are like fake people, like obvious scams. Like people are even, it's so bad that people are even stealing my content to run ads for scams. And it seems like there's no penalty for these people, you know? But yet, here's a good example. But yet, someone like Marcelo, who's actually made millions of dollars, gets punished for posting a recap video. You know, like, you guys see what I'm trying to get at here? Like, it's certain things that just doesn't add up.
RAY.
You know, I've always been taught that 2 + 2 = 4, but at times, it seems like 2 + 2 can equal to a very odd number. So hopefully I don't get in trouble for talking about the team house trips. Hopefully I don't get into any issues because it's just like me going over some stuff there, you know? Keeping it honest, keeping it real. I mean, trading has changed my life. You know, trading has changed my life. Trading has changed my life. But yeah, take care, stay safe, stay green. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the rant here in the slower market.